Hi, Gary Korb here, and my fan mail question comes from Bill Dunlap in Selma, Alabama. He writes, on a couple of occasions, I've gotten nauseous from smoking a cigar, and at one time I almost lost my lunch. Now, how does this happen, and what can I do to avoid it if it happens again? Well, that nausea you get from smoking a cigar is a mild form of nicotine poisoning, which in the worst cases can be fatal. But don't worry, Bill, I've never met anybody who died as a result of smoking a cigar. And besides, you're in good company because some of the leading cigar makers I've met over the years have told me that they've had this experience, and I can relate to it too. Now, most cigar smokers who get this nausea get it either from their first cigar or from very strong cigars. The thing is, sometimes that first cigar is also too strong. So my first rule of thumb is if you're new to cigars, start with a mild one. Now, before I get into how to avoid nicotine nausea, let's talk about nicotine levels in cigars. The estimated low limit of a lethal dose of nicotine has been reported as between 500 and 1,000 milligrams. But on average, cigars have somewhere between 100 to 200 milligrams, and that's compared to the average 10 milligrams in a cigarette. Now, keep in mind that these numbers vary depending on which study you read, and the vast majority of cigar smokers don't inhale, which considerably limits the amount of nicotine that gets into your system. The amount of nicotine is also dependent on the different types of leaves used in the blend, including how long they've been aged. So the numbers are all over the place, and in addition to nausea, other side effects of high nicotine levels include things like nervousness, headache, dizziness, and increased blood pressure. So to answer your question now, the best ways to avoid cigar nicotine overload are don't inhale. Smokers who have either given up cigarettes for cigars or still have the occasional ciggy tend to do this, and it's not good. Now, smoke mild cigars. Stay away from cigars made with a lot of Ligero, which is the strongest tobacco used in blending. Believe me, there are plenty of really flavorful mild to medium-bodied cigars that are out there for you to enjoy. Now, number 3, don't puff continuously on your cigar like this, because the more smoke that's absorbed into your mouth tissues, the more nicotine is going to get into your system. 4, don't hold the cigar clenched between your teeth for too long, since even the smoke that gets up into your nostrils will work its way up into your bloodstream. 5, don't chew on your cigar. It can get pretty juicy, so unless you carry a spittoon with you, nah. Now, 6, avoid too much alcohol with very full-bodied cigars, especially on an empty stomach. If you plan on drinking at least a couple of, scotches, bourbons, whiskeys, tequilas, whatever, with your cigar, do it after a full meal. And as for getting a handle on cigar nausea, once you begin to feel nauseous, put the cigar down and just let it rest. It's common sense. Chances are you'll catch it in time, and you should feel better in a few minutes. Now, in addition to that, the most popular so-called cure for cigar nausea is to take a teaspoon of sugar. If you're diabetic, a sugar-free sweetener may suffice, but you better consult your doctor about that. Now, also, drink plenty of water. And if you're able to, find a place to lie down, especially if you also begin to feel dizzy or lightheaded. Of course, everybody responds to nicotine in different ways, so as you would do with drinking alcoholic beverages, know your limit. Now, I hope you found this helpful, and thanks for watching.